Hello, welcome to the session, Weekend Security first session on NetCat. So we are going to cover here about that utility called NetCat. This is a network utility, mostly used as a network troubleshooting utility. So this utility is using that basically the people can troubleshoot and check whether the network is working properly or not, if there is a problem in the communication or not, and try to transfer data by means of files and stuff like that. So this is a very powerful tool. It has a lot of features which can be used for various purposes. We'll explore that one by one, and we'll see how this tool works well in a hands-on manner. So this will be a hands-on session, totally about the tool execution in action, and we'll see how it works. So as you can look at the wiki page here, you can see that this has a lot of features, and it has explained the command options also available for that. And what mainly primarily we're focusing here is nothing new. This is the same. It's been documented there, but we will be trying to show you, illustrate you that how it works, what happens when you actually run this tool, what are the different features which comes really handy when actually you are trying to do something, achieve a goal, say transferring a file across the network, and how it happens in a client server model where you have a file in the one box and you have to transfer in another box. What are the different ways you can do it? Clear? So that's how is the purpose of this session, and this is going to be a basic session where we'll be addressing only the basic features. Feel free to provide our suggestions how to take it forward. So here we have two boxes, virtual machines. I have chosen two boxes, one Linux and a Windows, so that we can show both the environment and how it works here. In Linux box, we're using Backtrack, and Backtrack comes with NetCat utility already there in the box. If you do nc-h, nc is a command, h for help. You can see all the options available there. Similarly, for Windows, there is no by default. There is no command called nc, equivalent of backtrack Linux. So you have to download it externally. Now, while downloading, there are different versions and flavors you can get it. And my favorite one is the version called NCAT, NCAT, and this is the one. And this because this comes as part of the package nmap package, and nmap is the legitimate one which is widely used. So it's a very powerful tool. So in terms of reputation, I can trust this vendor, and that's why I'm picking up this tool because in the Windows platform, and especially when you're trying to download or install malicious tools like NetCat, as in the tools which can be used for malicious purposes, it's always better to trust a legitimate vendor who is well known and popular for this kind of business, right? So equivalent command for Windows, if you install nmap package, nmap utility, you get it there called ncat. So if you do ncat dash help, you'll get the list of help there, all the options, and this is actually a enhanced version of NetCat where all existing features are there. On top of it, they are providing a lot of other new features like proxy and stuff like that. So that's pretty much about the tools. Now let's see how it works when actually we're doing something. Now, as I told you, this is a client server model. So using NetCat, I can open a port on the server, and using NetCat also I can connect it as a from a client box to the server. So what I'm going to do is Linux box, I'm going to host the server, which is nothing but I'm opening a port 5000, and L stands for listening, V for verbose mode, which will give you more data or the information about the status, and P stands for port. So LVB 5000, which will open the port on the client box. Now here in the Windows box, I'm trying to connect it. Now, if for connecting, you can use your own utility or telnet and kind of stuff, but same thing you can do it for NetCat as well. So it's always better to use the same one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect it in the verbose mode so that I can get more information about the status. So what happens is it's going to connect it, and you'll see once connected, you can see the status here. This has been connected. Now this is a blank channel has been established, so there's nothing happening there. To take it to the next level, what I can do is you can use it in the chat environment. So what I can do is I can type something here which will be coming to the server, and server replies back with something that comes up to the client. So like that. So basically, what I've done is I've opened a uh, port clients and communicated from client server manner, and that can be leveraged as a chat application, so where you can two boxes or the two users can chat and send pass the message across. So once you close it, you hit a control C, and that will close the application. Now the thing is, same thing I'm going to show it in how to do it on Windows now the other way. So where now Windows will have the server, so I do NCAT hyphen. I'm gonna do same thing LVP 5000. So I'm gonna open a port here in Windows, and I'm gonna connect from uh, the Linux box. So this will do the same thing, but now it's in the other way actually. So the server is on the Windows, and you're doing it from similar like that. So once you're done with the communication, what you can do, you can just hit Control C from the client or from the server, and it will disconnect it. Now the problem with this option is, if I disconnect the client, in this case the Linux box, you can see the server also gets terminated. So next time you have to again open LVP. Now to bypass that, what you can do is, there is another option called K, which is equivalent of keep alive kind of thing. So if I do that, it's available only in Windows. So from client, if I connect and if I transmit some data, and after that if I terminate, the server will still stay alive. So that's the purpose of the K option, which is a which replaces the P option. Don't use this together, then you will get an error. So you can connect back again and transfer the data, and done. Once you're done, you hit the Control C. The client gets terminated, disconnected, but server stays alive. So that's about the chatting and transferring the kind of messages. Now let's see how we transfer uh, files across machine using NetCat. So here in my Linux box, I have a file called test.txt, and Windows box there is nothing there. I have to transfer this file. So if I see the content of the test.txt is just some dummy content is there. So how we can transfer this file from the Linux to Windows uh, using NetCat? So one option, I host it by opening a port, and the way you host it is like this. So what will happen, whoever is going to connect to this box, you will get that content. So I'm trying to connect from the Windows now, and you can see the content is here. Now if I want to save this content, what I can do is I can sorry, I can basically redirect the content here to another file called test.txt, and this will save the content to equivalent file. Now it doesn't say it's completed or something. So what you have to do manually, you have to terminate the machine connection when you think is transmission is done. So after that, if you see here, the file has been created, and if I type the test.txt, the file content is here. So that's how you transfer a file. Now, so the thing is, what you're showing here is actually the server who has the file is kind of hosting it, opening a port and hosting the file there, and client is pulling it from the client is pulling it from the server. Now, what if it's in the other way, where server does not have the file, but client has the file, and client has to push the file to the server? So how do you do that? So let's show it here. So what I'm going to do here is, now I'm going to open the server here. Mm, I'll use E so that I can terminate. And from here, I'm gonna push the content. So how you do that is simply just connect to the server, and whenever you're connecting, you say that feed this content of this file. So when I do that, the content of the file gets transmitted when client is successfully able to connect to the server, right? And what I can do is I can basically store it to another file, test1.txt, and similarly when this gets connected, the file will be transferred to the file. on the server, right? So what should be done there? And if I do this, ctest1.txt file, which is the same size of previous one, which is the same content. Yeah. So that's how you transfer files. What else you can do? You can do a lot of other things like you can do, let's see, port scanning. Now, before going to port scanning, let's see how you can open a command line shell. So you can open a shell also. What I can do is I can basically open a port and say that, you know what, whoever connects to this port, give them a command line access. How do you do that? Is actually using option called -e, and if I say bin sh, what is basically is doing is opened up the port and it's hosted the shell command, executable file. It executes the shell and it hosts it on this port. From the client, whenever I'll be connecting to the server, what is going to happen is I will get a shell access. Now this is not going to show you anything, but if you do ls pwd or ls/etc, you get a window of executing the shell. So what just happened there? Server is Linux. It hosted a shell here, and client just connect to the port and got a shell access. So this is more of a income. So basically, client connects to the server, and server is getting the shell. Now, this is not recommended because of other complications. What you can do is the other way, where server will not host the shell, but server will host a dummy port, and client will push the shell from there to server, because this is how it works in real scenarios. It's called reverse shell. So what's going to happen here is what I'm going to do is here I'm going to terminate this, and I'm going to host a server here, right? And I'm going to connect it from the client, which is Linux. Now it's connected. Like that. So what exactly? It's the outcome is same, where it is basically the Windows box who is my client, or you can say in real scenario this is the hacker who is trying to get shell access to the server, which is Linux box here. The only thing is the way you're doing it or how the communication is flowing. So previous one where server was hosted a shell and the client the hacker connects to that, which is not in real life, because real life generally you don't host a shell as a server so that anybody can connect it, right? So this is the second way of doing it, where the hacker hosts a server, and which is on the client side, basically from outside. And when you come on the from the victim side, you somehow get a handle to the command line, and then you execute a command like this, which basically tells the Linux box or the server to connect back to the attacker's box, which is the Windows box, and push the shell to the attacker's box or the hacker's box. So that's how you do, and this is basically more like an outgoing shell rather than incoming shell access on the previous one. So this is what generally gets has more success ratio in general. So this is both ways you can do it. Now, if I try the same thing from the Windows box here, uh, where the Linux box is hosting a shell like this. So Linux box is server. So from client here, I'm gonna push the shell. But in this case, if I push it, it will be Windows command prompt, because I'm gonna push the Windows shell now. And how do you do that? Same thing. I connect to the server with IP address and port, and I say that push escmp.exe. So basically, if you want to do the shell access to kind of simulation on Windows box, this is how you do that. So I get the shell access of the Windows box to the line. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Please share it across.